Okay, welcome everybody to episode 2 of Counterfeit Monkey. Um, everybody's here again, so introduce yourselves, say hello, everybody.
Hello, it's Lee here.
Hi, Rosie here.
Hi, Woody here.
Are you on push to talk, Lee?
Sorry.
Oh,
Because we didn't hear Svandis at all because he let go of the button.
hello, it's Swandy's here.
There we go. Um, thanks, everybody. Right, so we've got an hour, so I think we should just kick off and carry on. Lee, you said that you'd listened back to last week's
I did
episode.
indeed.
Um, was that a better experience than listening to the podcast, or substantially worse?
It was it allowed me to slow down and try and digest some of it again because there's a lot that went on,
Yeah.
and I definitely thought we need to make some notes here, but yeah.
Okay. We also had some latency issues last week, so hopefully the refresh will be faster. So when I do stuff, you'll see it much sooner. But let's try this out. So
No,
you
no,
can all
it's definitely
you
it's
can all
already
see.
better.
Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, it's already better. I can see. Yeah,
Oh, can you?
yeah.
Okay. I think if I say restore from the first prompt, it ignores me. So I have to say yes, maybe. Let's try restore now. Okay, there we go. So here we go. Um, so did that work? What was the lag like on that?
Yeah, it's
That
like
was
4 seconds, I guess, maybe.
Oh, sweet.
much better, much
Good, good.
better.
All right, excellent. That means I won't feel so isolated and like no one was really paying attention like I did last week.
We're
Which
really
is,
trying.
I
We were
know it
trying
was
to
freaking me
keep
out,
up.
but it's understandable. I didn't realize that you were having like a minute's lag last week. Um, but anyway, so a few things. So one thing occurred to me, is that last week the last thing that we did was we went into the cinema to retrieve our backpack, and to do so we had to get a ticket, and we converted a thicket into a ticket, and then they accepted it even though they clearly didn't want to, but that allowed me to get in. And then it occurred to me later that that is really weird behavior. Like if you'd stashed a backpack in a cinema, you wouldn't go and buy a ticket to a performance that isn't going to start for ages just to go back into the cinema and look for your backpack. You'd go to the front desk and say, I left my backpack by mistake. Have you seen a backpack? Right? And then maybe it's in lost and found, or maybe they'll let you just go in and have a quick look or whatever. And then it occurred to me that this would also be obvious to Emily Short. And so I thought, well, we never actually asked the ticket um, clerk about any topics. So, so I actually did. Um, I did go back to the cinema and do topics, and I'm looking for my backpack as one of the topics, along with a whole bunch of other topics. So if you say I've left my backpack in there, can I go in and look at it? The ticket seller says, no way, we've been scammed before. And then if you then say, you then get an option to argue about their lost and found policy. And they say we check the cinema after every performance, and if you had left your backpack there, it would be in lost and found, and it isn't, so you must have left it somewhere else. So essentially, you're forced to either buy or magic a ticket to go back there. So I thought that was kind of an interesting little thing.
Yeah,
But in
that
the
is
process of
interesting.
doing that, I also discovered that there's loads of other topics to talk to the ticket clerk about. So I don't know if that's where we want to start.
Yeah, definitely. Let's
Mhm.
go have a
Okay.
chat.
Uh, so I think it was northwest and then north, wasn't it?
You can just go to cinema,
Oh
can't you?
yeah, I could have just go to cinema. Um, I'm just too old school. I like navigating around. ticket says the ticket taker automatically. So if we say topics, and we definitely have our backpack, right? Score is 4, and we have 3 goals. So topics is, I'd like to ask when the movie starts, ask what the movie is, ask whether he likes his job, ask whether crime could ever be justified, ask whether the government is just, ask whether immigration laws are fair, ask whether he has ever been in trouble with the law, ask what he likes to eat, or ask where my backpack is.
We do not have the backpack.
No.
So the score would have been 7 after we had the backpack, because we got 3 points for getting through the code and 1 point for using the letter remover.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Have I loaded the wrong game? The wrong save? Oh, I have. Okay. So, yes, we're in this reality now. We're actually in the screening room. We have the backpack, a flash drive, our H remover, and a monocle. We're also carrying an eel. So we can we do... Oh, we can see the exits, can't we? So there's an exit north. We can go north. Is that north and east? Which one is the colour for places we haven't been? Was it east?
Blue.
Is it
Blue is
blue?
where we haven't been, yeah.
So, so we go north into the projection booth. The booth is small and lined with grey carpet. It smells faintly of hot dogs. A jotter is propped up next to the projector.
Are we going to have to turn the jotter into an otter?
I mean, it does seem
An otter and an eel?
yeah, strange.
Yeah.
It's a little spiral-bound notebook, the kind reported in old movies carry. It's full of notes, running times of movies, numbers of people in the audience, who clapped during potentially subversive scenes, who arrived in a group of more than 3. On the jotter is written red, audience 14, FM couple, MM couple, M in raincoat, FFFFF group, FMFM. Oh dear, excuse me. So this is like Stasi stuff, isn't it? This is secret police.
Presumably, F and M is gender.
Mm. Yeah, so there was a I guess gay male couple, but it doesn't seem to be singling anyone out in that. It's just recording everything. Oh,
Sorry.
hang on a sec.
You have a bigger one.
Lucas, we're streaming, sweetheart.
But do you have
No,
this
that's-
doesn't fit around any of the keys.
That's all I've got.
Okay.
Talk to Flynn.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say that.
Sorry about
Sorry.
that. Yeah,
Is
so maybe
is
the
he
jotter
fine?
is for something else.
If we want to turn the jotter into an otter, perhaps not do that yet.
No.
Yeah.
It may come up in
Yeah,
handy.
let's
it may
just
come
take the
in handy.
jotter and
We-
land it.
I mean, we're going to end up with just like carrying a load of animals around.
Yeah.
So yeah, until we actually have a use for them, we should probably refrain, I guess. I mean, it seems like the game would allow us into situations that we then can't get out of. I don't know how.
Can we take the jotter with us?
Yep.
Let's do that then.
Okay.
Might be useful for making notes on and even some wordplay as we go through.
Yeah, I still haven't quite figured out whether, the items that we've been able to change so far have been like major items, like incidental stuff that's in the description hasn't let us do anything with. So this is a jotter. So jotter is the word, not notebook or anything else. Right, okay. We can look at the projector as well, maybe. It's an old-fashioned film projector with a spot to hold a reel of film. The lens points at the screen.
You can look at the carpet.
Yeah. In this dim light, it's hard to give the carpet too exact an inspection, which I imagine is just as well.
Is there a film on the projector?
It doesn't look like it. No, there's a spot to hold a reel, but there's no reel there. Sniff hot dogs. No.
Can you look at the lens?
It's just a synonym for projector. Yeah. Okay, I think that's it. It's just
Very nice.
just a location. East of the cinema lobby. Yo, says the ticket taker as we come in. And now we have all of these topics. Which is a lot, right? I mean, we could just be here for the next 20 minutes asking the ticket guy questions. Do we want to do that? Do we want to do we need to do this to learn more about the world?
I mean, I guess he's always going to be here to chat to if we need to come back and talk to him about something.
Yeah.
I mean, asking whether he's been in trouble with the law looks like
Could put him
it's
on the
something
defense.
useful.
Yeah.
It's a weird one, isn't it? Because when we played Ballyhoo, we completely ignored Harry, the guard, for most of the game. And then it turned out that he was an absolute font of knowledge and clues. So let's go and have a little bit more of an explore. I feel like, we probably do need to ask all of this stuff, but we've only looked at a tiny bit of the world that's accessible to us at the moment. So
Yeah.
maybe let's come back to the ticket. Park him for now. Make a note of it in our jotter. Okay. So we've done the church. Oh, so we haven't been south from here. South and east lead to more of the park. And we haven't been east of here. So there's more park to the south and east. So let's try going south. Midway. A reference to Ballyhoo already. Here in front of the pharmacy in the southwestern corner of the town square, various contests have been set up. A strongman hammering contest, a contest to see who can burst the most balloons using a styrofoam dart plane, and so on. I assume you've noticed, though, the word balance, which comes up as high as our hip. On the right pan is an apple, and on the left a pear. Beside the word balance is a barker in a blue suit, the same regulation blue used by the Bureau of Orthography. The barker has a tube. 1 tube of restoration gel goes to the first person who can unbalance the word balance, cries the barker, glance sweeping the crowd. We could ask what the gel is worth, ask whether the game is rigged, or ask whether anyone ever wins.
I guess you could make the pear into a
An
P.
ear or a P. Should we ask the barker some questions first?
Chris, the balancing, if you get rid of the P's, you get ale and ear.
Oh yeah,
That should balance them.
that's true. Do you think we could hit them both at the same time?
I wonder whether the restoration gel can put a letter back in.
Is the gel very valuable, we ask? Is it new and in good condition? Is the entire tube present? Yes, of course, and absolutely, he says, making a gesture as though to show us the gel, but actually not letting us catch more than the label. Somewhere in the vicinity, a balloon pops loudly. Put the beam out of alignment and we'll win a fabulous prize, says the barker, holding up a tube. Ask whether the game is rigged. I know this kind of game, we say in our most jaded voice. The scale is probably nailed in place so that it can't tip. One or two of the crowd standing nearby seem impressed by this line of argument. A small boy whispers to his sister to ask whether that could be true. Nonsense, says the barker angrily. To demonstrate the point, he pushes down on the left pan and the scales tip and sway. He soon restores them to balance, though. And don't think that will count for you, he adds. You have to put them out of balance yourself. No surrogate substitutes or alternatives allowed. The crowd mills around, jostling us. We could ask whether anyone ever wins. Does anyone ever win, we ask. No one has won today, he says, which is not an answer. The sun gleams off the shiny balance pans.
Oh, give it a whirl.
Let's see if we can remove P from balance. See if that affects both sides. The letter remover finds no P in the word balance. Shall I remove P from apple?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a smell of fermenting apple, then cider, then something more malty. In the apple's place, there is now a glass of nut brown ale. There's a cheer from the spectators. The word balance tilts slowly but inexorably. The barker looks astonished and displeased, except for a fraction of a second, when he just noticeably winks. With exaggerated bad grace, hands us some restoration gel. There's your prize, and now this contest is over. He walks away. The score has gone up by 3 points and is now 10.
Woo!
3 points for winning the gel.
Let's have a look at this gel.
Unfortunately, there's hardly any gel remaining in the tube.
We've been scammed.
I guess it's like, is it like... I'm tempted to save it and rub it on our eel. Just to,
Heel.
Yeah, maybe.
just to, you know, see how much of it is left and whether that's what it's for.
I'm not sure rubbing gel on an eel in public.
Each to his own, Lee. Each to his own.
You northerners.
There isn't enough gel remaining in the little tube for use. Fuck.
But perhaps we could change the tube into a tub, or...
Yeah, I was just thinking that. Maybe there'd be more
Oh,
gel.
yeah. Oh. Then we have to carry a tub of... Okay, yeah, let's try that. We reset the device to E. There's a distinct spearmint flavour and the tube turns into a tub. Now a handsome, giant-sized tub with restoration gel prominently emblazoned on the front. Okay. Rub gel into eel. We dip out a pea-sized quantity of gel and rub it gently onto the eel. With an audible splort, the eel becomes a wheel. Oh, it went straight to wheel. It just resets completely. I'm starting to understand how you got into all the places you got into. Not that I judge you or your line of work, of course. The wheel is far too large for us to carry and falls to the ground. Your score has gone up by 1 point and is now 11. 1 point for using the gel.
So this would allow us to use an object in multiple ways then, I guess.
The tub contains a clear sticky gel that restores objects to their original state before any letter changing. This is a valuable item in your line of work. Okay, so we now have a universal undo feature, basically. I wonder how much we can carry.
I was just going to say, so we've dropped the wheel, haven't we?
We have. So we have a backpack, the e-remover, or the letter remover, a flash drive, a monocle, and a tub of restoration gel, and a jotter. I mean, we could put the jotter in the backpack if we need to, but we don't. What's the I mean, did we?
Yeah, we haven't tried
Yeah.
wearing that yet, have we?
No.
Yeah.
Let's just have a look at the drive. This is it. All my notes, the syllable and word generating programs from which I built my language vocabulary, the lexicon and pronunciation guide and grammatical descriptions. And then there's the research to support the product. Citations, copies of journal articles and scans from books, contact information for people in the outside world I think could help me. It's everything I've been working on for the last 3 years.
Who's I? Is that us?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's either Alex or Andra.
Ah. Right. So I is Alex and you is us.
Yeah.
So when it says like you are in the church, it means us.
Right. Yeah.
So, yeah. So I is Alex.
Yeah, you're right. So did we invent this? No, this is a common thing, isn't it? Everyone's got a letter remover.
Have they?
Yeah, yeah. Hence the stuff about even, that's something a little kid would do.
This place must be chaos.
Yeah. And that Barker with the balance, I mean, that's a child's play to unbalance it with those objects. Really odd. But didn't I remember there being some message, I think when we removed the W from the wheel, that there was something about, I think it's here with us, isn't it? So
yeah, it was to do with that it was a bit gruesome, but it's the sort of thing that you'd find.
It doesn't give us the same message. It just says the wheel gives way to the now familiar heel. Yeah, but it said something along the lines of, like this is the kind of thing that a kid would do.
We have it now. Have you managed to pick it up?
Can do. It's a bit gross. Monocle. This is no mere fashion accessory. It is the very top grade of authentication scope, designed for people who have to use them all day, and normally available only to employees of the Bureau of Orthography. If we look through the monocle at something, we can see its true nature, regardless of spelling changes. You like that? I thought you might be impressed. My father got it for me. For research, he said. But I think he knew I just coveted them. At any rate, you're not the only one with equipment. Okay.
So if we see something and look through the monocle at it, we might be able to restore it.
Yeah.
Okay, so the monocle is in the backpack for concealment.
I wonder whether, because it said it was used by the bureau guys, I wonder whether we're not supposed to have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna save.
It's kind of like it's just given us all the tools we need for the rest of the game, isn't it?
Yeah. Now I'm going to get the monocle. We open the backpack, we pick up the monocle. Use monocle on heel. Look at heel.
Just wear it. Just wear it.
Oh. Everything turns computer monitor green when viewed through our right eye, and staring fixedly at anything will turn up its authenticity status. Look, okay. Let's X heel then. Okay, if we look at the heel, callous and leathery, a gruesome souvenir of years of unhappy shoe wearing. There is a dismissive blat from the monocle, and transposed over the heel is a faint greenish image of a wheel. Okay.
So it doesn't look like the monocle will restore things, but it'll give us information about what it was before if we want to restore it.
Yes. And then we can use the gel.
Yeah.
So we can-
Yeah, it's gonna be something of use for us.
We can look at things to see if there actually were other things. So we can potentially go both ways. We can remove letters and add letters back to whatever the original word was for the object.
And then as it's a finite resource, we can see if we want to restore it or not.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we've got lots of this, the restoration gel now, because we've got a whole tub and we only used a pea-sized amount.
Yeah. Yes, I think that's a hint that it basically doesn't run out. So we can make mistakes. We can reverse them. Okay, I'm just looking at the jotter in case it was jotters or something. The monocle pings happily as we sight the jotter with the crosshairs. So, do we have anything that could have been more another thing? Oh, so we can, if we look at the tub, the monocle shows the residual form of the tube. So there you go. Oh, the flash drive is in the backpack, which is gaping wide open so everyone can see what's inside. So, nobody seems to be too bothered about the fact that we're wearing a monocle. But we obviously need to conceal. There's a reason why we need to conceal things at some point.
I mean, is there any reason not to put everything in the bag and close
No.
it?
So we should remove the monocle, I guess. I'm presuming it's not safe to just walk around with a monocle on.
Well, yeah, that's what I was wondering, because it seems pretty useful to be able to have it, to wear it all the time.
Yeah, but very suspicious if
Well,
somebody
yeah, I
that
don't
is
know.
not supposed to see us.
Yeah.
We could try.
You could just wear it and see if
We could, yeah.
bad things happen.
Yeah.
We can do that. Put all except monocle in backpack. Oop, close. Backpack. Okay, so yeah, is there anything else here? There's still the ale and a pear. So I don't think we need to take them with us, but they are there. We know that there's a locker at the hostel that contains some of our stuff as well, don't we?
Yeah, our money is in there. You don't want to take the ale and the pear? You know, just collect things as we go along?
Okay.
Could give somebody the ale as a bribe.
Yeah. Or if we need a pea or an ear.
Mm.
We've got an ear and a heel, and we're going to reconstruct someone.
Yeah.
With the otter.
Yeah, we can have otter and an eel. We're creating like a menagerie, and a creature, Frankensteinian creature. Okay, let's go northeast to the other bit of the park that we haven't been to. Park Centre. This is a handsome expanse of grass shaped like a rectangle with rounds cut from the corners, bounded by railings along the north side. There are no stalls and no barkers here, but small children are running around an impressive marble fountain. I gather from the direction of your thoughts that you dislike small children, so I'll restrain myself from trying to communicate with them. So this is it's interesting looking at the map because we can see that there's stuff to the north of us, but it looks like we can't get there from here. We need to go east. So we can go
Should we
east or
look at the
southeast.
fountain before we go
Oh
anywhere?
yeah, okay. It depicts some horses rising out of the waves with trident-bearing gods on their backs and some nymphs overseeing the whole operation. Probably 17th century to judge by the excessive number of writhing sculpted figures. The fountain celebrates, if that's the right word, the conquest of this island by the Dutch in 1607, it having been a Spanish possession for about 140 years before that. In spite of this, the fountain bears not a word of any foreign language. The original Latin or vernacular inscriptions having been long since renovated away. I've just noticed there is a Bureau of Orthography on the map. Over here. Okay, do we think there's anything here at the fountain? Oh, okay, so there are objects here. If you look at the horses, their eyes are wide and their nostrils flared with excitement. The monocle pings happily as we sight the horses with the crosshairs. If you look at the gods, Nereids and Tritons, apparently together with tame fish, conch shells and other representatives of the gods of the sea. Monocle pings happily. So look at the nymphs. Same.
If we look at the inscriptions, can we see what they used to say?
Oh, I can't spell. Ah.
Missed out the S.
Yeah. Whatever writing once graced the fountain, it has been chiselled off because it wasn't in English. The monocle pings happily as we cite the inscriptions with the crosshairs. This is like a fascist state, isn't it? That expunged other previous cultures. Keeping notes on people that go to the cinema, etc. Okay, let's try going southeast because
Or we could go east first and then go south and then go into the hostel so that we've covered the whole park.
do you think there's more park? Okay, you can do
Well,
that.
it looks like so the at symbol.
Yeah, I can see what you mean.
Yeah.
Where
It was
we
just
are. Yeah.
I thought we might go north after
yeah,
this.
you're
And
right.
so
No fair.
okay, if we try going east, it says I think we better get your things from the hostel before we leave this part of town, don't you? So maybe let's go southeast. Heritage Corner. This patch of the town square has been paved over in octagonal bricks and is commonly used for displays of traditional dancing. Over 50 women in homemade embroidered aprons skipping arm in arm and jumping over broomsticks. No, there aren't any here now, but trust me, it's an unforgettable sight. Under a bit of shelter in the corner, a diorama table shows scenes from local history, rotated out each week. This week's diorama represents the first sitting of the Committee for the New Orthodox Orthography. The park continues to the north and west. To the east is a backpackers' hostel, where you've stayed recently, and where you stowed the rest of your important possessions. Look at the diorama. The patriotic scene is set against the backdrop of the Bureau's buildings circa 1895, where the committee first met, but the historians have included a bit of the building's exterior to show that the meetings were conducted under army guard. The writing of dictionaries has not always been bloodless. The members in the army are movable, but the rest of the scenery appears to have been hot glued in place. The monocle pings happily as we sight the diorama table with the crosshairs.
Should we try moving the movable things?
Yeah. Let's just look at the members. Mostly men and a few women, sternly dressed and with solemn expressions. Look at the army, a collection of soldier figurines in blue uniforms. Okay, we can't get all. Move army. We form the army into a fierce defensive line. Move army. We form the army into a cheerleading pyramid. We form the army into Roman-style formations. Okay, looks like those are the options. We inventively reposition the members to the outside of the meeting chamber. We inventively reposition the members to be on the walls of the meeting chamber. We inventively reposition the members to outside of the meeting chamber. Okay. So we have 3 positions for the army and 3 positions for the members. I wonder why.
What shape is the meeting chamber?
Can't look at the chamber. Oh, hang on. It doesn't say, and it's not something that we can look at specifically.
The only other thing I thought of was, can you just check memories?
Oh. Currently on our mind is how we got here.
It's just that it mentioned the fact that the over 50 women was unforgettable.
Mhm.
Yeah. Oh, a good one. Yeah, it's just the same. I mean, other thing we could do is change members into embers. There's no good reason to do that. Members
What
into
would-
member.
Chris, what were the goals we had outstanding? Because one was to get the backpack, but didn't we have 4 of them?
Retrieve our remaining possessions. Meet your colleague Slango at the Counterfeit Monkey. There were a bunch of others, weren't there? There were a bunch of kind of odd ones that we had about leaving the island, and I'm not sure what happened to those.
One of them was leaving the back alleys. So
Yeah.
we've done
Yeah, that was the first one. We just
Yeah.
had one, but I'm sure there was a point at which we had 3 goals.
So we were having a conversation with the guy in the gift shop, and we talked about, it did mention offhand that we were attempting to flee the island. So I
Yeah,
don't remember whether it was actually a goal listed.
I'm pretty sure. I mean, I need to go back and watch last week's, but I'm pretty sure at one point we checked our goals and they were like, "Oh my God, where have these goals come from?" These seem like quite advanced things that we should be doing that we don't know anything about yet.
Well, let's go into the hostel, shall we?
But yeah, let's do that. But yeah, there was something. I mean, I remember something about meeting at the Counterfeit Monkey. I can't remember what that was. Okay.
It was meeting Slango.
Yeah. But who told us about that? Do you remember?
No one.
Yes.
Okay. Hostel. I take it this is where you stayed from the time you got to town until our operation. I would have expected that someone with your credentials would have been able to afford something better. The Fleur d'Or, maybe. But maybe you thought this was lower profile. At least it's clean and doesn't smell funny. The desk attendant is sort of eyeing us. She doesn't recognise us, but that's a good thing, I think. Discarded in one corner is guidebook to Anglophone Atlantis. There's a spiral staircase that leads up to the dormitory rooms. You can look up interesting subjects in books if you like. Look at the book. A much thumbed and several years out of date guidebook to this immediate area. The cover is tomato red, but the pages are crinkly and beige. It appears that someone has spilt coffee on it. There's too much here to take in a quick read, but we could look up specific topics if we wanted to read more. The monocle pings happily as we cite Guidebook to Anglophone Atlantis. Okay. Look up topics in book.
Can we take the guidebook with us?
I think so.
Yeah.
We take Guidebook to Anglophone Atlantis. We flip through Guidebook to Anglophone Atlantis, but find no reference to topics.
Is there a contents page?
No. Oh, achievement accomplished. Finish tutorial mode. So that was the last bit of instruction for us.
Oh, this is only tutorial.
Oh no.
We're on our own now.
Yeah, now we're in trouble.
So we have to actually think of things to look up in the book by the looks of it. So we could just look up Atlantis. The entire book concerns the island, so we'll have to be more specific about places and institutions. Okay, well,
We've got army, we've got members, we've got the government, we've got all the locations.
Yeah, we've got the counterfeit monkey.
Yeah.
look up orthography in book. The entry is long and greasily flattering. Resplendent blue dome, magnificent interior, warm and hospitable employees, world-renowned historical research department, etc., etc. So this obviously is looking up the Bureau of Orthography, but not what it does or what it's for or anything like that. So we could look up members. No. What was the dioramas? What was it depicting? It was the first conference or something? Shall I go back outside and have a look?
Or do you want to go up and see if we can up to the dormitories?
Yeah.
Well,
I want to do the guidebook.
Well, we'll go out in a minute, won't we?
I know. I just like, that means parking a thought and then coming back to it.
You can do it, Chris. You can do it.
I'm not sure I can. Okay, cool. Yeah, we can just do that. Let's go up. We could also, I guess we weren't in conversation with the person on the desk, but we could see if there's any topics there as well. Anyway, dormitory room. Painted off-white with hardwood floors under many layers of protected gloss coating. There are no surfaces in this room that would take a stain. 4 dorm beds are lined up against the wall. The locker you identify as your own sits near one of the beds, still locked with its dial lock. A girl of about 19 is standing in the middle of the room, looking around as though she can't quite believe where she landed or what she's doing here. She is carrying a heavy pack and wearing a pink t-shirt. "Hey," says the girl, "do you think this place is safe?" she asks conspiratorially. I must look blank because she goes on, "I saw this documentary once, right, about a serial killer who went from youth hostel to youth hostel, grooming girls and killing them. And then he'd chop up the bodies and put the body parts into the lockers, and no one would find out until he'd gone away again. Nothing like that has happened around here, but she seems to get a charge out of scaring herself with this story. I'd like to ask for privacy."
Don't tell her we've got a heel in our backpack.
Yeah, I know.
You just give her a heel.
Yeah.
I should do, shouldn't I?
Yeah, we could scare her.
Really.
She's just the sort of tourist who most annoys the locals, but actually I find her type a little endearing. She may not be very sophisticated yet, but she wants to expand her horizons, and that's more than you can say for most of the friends she probably left back at home. The monocle pings happily as we cite the backpacking girl with the crosshairs. Should we ask for privacy first and then See if we have to give her a body part to get rid of her.
Okay.
This will just take a moment, but would you mind giving me the room? Would you mind giving me the room to myself? We say. She waves a hand generously. Don't worry about it. Do whatever you've got to do. I don't care, she says. I'm so tired I couldn't move a muscle, but I've seen everything. I have 3 brothers and 2 sisters, and I'm in women's rugby, so I'm pretty hard to shock. With a grunt, she shrugs off her pack and puts it on the ground near one of the beds. Do you like this place so far? We want to approve of Atlantis. Okay. So, should we answer her then?
Yeah.
Not sure how.
Just a note, the numbers in that script might be the key to the locker if there's a combination. She mentioned 3 and 2 in there. I'm just keeping that in mind.
Where did she mention 3? Oh, I see. Brothers and sisters.
3 brothers, 2 sisters, or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think the puzzles are that obtuse in this game. I mean,
Maybe it's just
it's
me
our
then.
own lock. Yeah. I mean, we locked it. I'm assuming that we know what the code is, but let's see. Anyway, approve of Atlantis. Sure, you say. It's pretty, it's clean. There's lots of interesting stuff around. I can see why your career isn't with a tourist board. I guess, she says. I'm going to give her a heal. Oh, the backpack isn't open. She says, I hope this place has good souvenirs. I got this great snow globe at the Vatican, right? That has the Pope inside saying, like, a blessing. We want to admire the snow globe or recommend the cathedral gift shop. Oh, maybe that's how we get rid of her. No, I'm going to open the backpack and give her a heal.
Maybe save it first.
Yeah. Okay, so she says, so when did you get to Anglophone Atlantis anyway? I guess is that the whole name of it, Anglophone Atlantis? How long have you been here? We could lie about visiting, admire the snow globe, or recommend the cathedral gift shop. Give heal to girl. Give heel to girl, first taking the heel. Check this out, we say, holding out the heel for inspection. The backpacking girl looks like throwing up. After a moment to regain her composure, she flees the vicinity.
Amazing.
God.
Amazing.
I can see you all laughing, but I can't hear any of it. So, I mean, there's obviously multiple solutions to these puzzles. I'm sure if we told her about the gift shop, she probably would have gone.
Yeah.
The completer finisher in me now obviously wants to restore our game and go back and try out what other options there are. But we don't need to do that. So let's look at the locker. Probably could have done the same thing with an ear. A standard metal locker for travellers to leave their valuable possessions in when they go out, or while they sleep, since one's bunkmates are not always to be trusted. It's of the kind that requires the traveller to bring his own lock, and in fact someone, such as yourself, has put a lock on this one. The monocle pings happily as we sight the locker with the crosshairs. Open lock. It's curious now you look at it. It's a combination lock with a dial face, but no one has bothered putting any numerals onto the dial. Unlock lock. Still no numbers on the dial. My mother had a wristwatch like that once. Always a nuisance.
Turn dial?
I once again contemplate the absence of traditional combination markings on the lock. It must not be meant to be unlocked in the usual way. There is a dismissive blat from the monocle, and transposed over the lock is a faint greenish image of a clock. You have a fleeting thought of making your lock. Oh, so we've got memories.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Currently on your mind are making your lock and how we got here. I mean, I could have stopped and thought about what it was trying to tell us about there not being numbers on the dial of the lock. But anyway, we've got a monocle. We can just look at it. Anyway.
Gel it.
Well, let's remember making the lock first.
Okay.
You were going through the galley cupboards on the yacht. If you're looking for coffee, Slango forgot to resupply, Brock said, descending the galley staircase in a wet Speedo. No, the first letter razor, you replied, holding up a portable clock. I need a lock that responds to restoration gel, but nothing else. Ah, Brock toweled his hair. It's in my bunk, sorry. Want to come and look for it? You smiled, a giveaway smile. Wish I could, but we're on a deadline. Go put some pants on and bring me the razor. Then we're back in the present. Oh, okay. So you're looking for the first letter razor. I need a lock that responds to restoration gel, but nothing else. So there's something called a first letter razor that takes the first letter off something and turned the clock into a lock. Oh well, let's... Rub gel on lock. We dip out a pea-sized quantity of gel and rub it gently onto the lock. With an audible splort, the lock becomes a clock and falls to the floor. It appears to be one of those archetypal alarm clocks that crows at sunrise and generally makes a nuisance of itself. It shows the time to be about 11:15. Open locker. Now that the lock has been removed, the locker swings easily open, revealing a roll, a letter, and some plans. Your score has gone up by 3 points and is now 14. There we go, 3 points for opening the locker. The achievements you have accomplished so far include finish tutorial mode.
Just examine everything then, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, the roll is just a roll. Now that's more like it. You've got us a tidy little stash of euros here. Letter. It's a letter from your brother, printed off anonymously from an untraceable email account that you accessed in town. Nothing that could be followed back to Slango and the yacht. Sis, I'm keeping your wire transfer funds. I want to try for Stanford. I'd say thank you, except that, one, you didn't get it legally. I saw this documentary about teen prostitutes. If that's where it came from, then ew. And two, honestly, you owe for what you put us through after you ran away. Mum and Dad were humiliated that you turned into the prodigal daughter. Your face got on milk cartons. Pastor Hughes gave a sermon about it. Mum spent all that time coaching you through spelling practice. You know she doesn't enjoy getting up at 4 a.m, right? You totally threw that in their faces. If you want to come home sometime, fine, but don't come to just see me. If you want to see me, you have to see Mum and Dad too. Nate. Okay, so Andra was female. This is our brother sending a letter to us, his sister. Does that mean that Alex was male? I don't know. We were a teen prostitute? Really? We ran away from home.
I think we know that Alex was male. I've got it written down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mum spent all that time coaching you through spelling practice. You know she doesn't enjoy getting up at 4 a.m. You totally threw that in their faces. So she was getting up at 4 a.m. to coach me through spelling practice. And I threw
think
that in there.
this is a letter to Andrea, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, The way that it's read, it's like, you know, like we've gone against the religion. We were brought up a religious family that believed in certain spelling, certain words and certain spelling, and we rejected it and ran away, and it caused them great humiliation.
And we were so famous that we got onto milk cartons, so we would be recognized, I guess.
Well, that's a common thing that happens in the States with missing children, isn't it?
Ah,
Yeah.
right.
Have you seen this child? Yeah, it's for runaways as well as people that, you know, kids that are abducted.
And the teen prostitute thing sounds like just a thing a brother would say, like, not that we were.
Or would have overheard grown-ups say, possibly.
Or just assumed.
Well, he just doesn't know where the money came from.
No.
Yeah, well, if you're not in the cult, then you know you're in the immoral outside, the filthy, impure. Maybe. Okay. So there's some plans here as well. The plans are rolled up and stuck shut with a label that reads Property of Dental Consonants Limited. Unauthorized use illegal. They're just a set of prints from the main computer design, of course, but still extremely informative. To the right engineer, they might reveal the secret of T insertion for replication by other companies. These are what you and Brock were originally contracted to lift from the island at a fee in the multiple millions. The monocle pings happily as we cite the plans with a crosshair. Wowzers.
My goodness. So we've been sent here on an illegal mission to steal this, but now we're doing something else, aren't we? So we've decided to double cross them, I guess.
What are we doing?
I don't know. Or it's gone pear-shaped or...
But yeah, it looks like we've been hired to commit corporate espionage and steal a bunch of plans that have the secret of T insertion. I mean, what's T? We already have a device that can remove any letter and a gel that can restore things.
But we haven't got something which can put a T into a word to turn
True,
into
we do
something else.
not. It's very specific, that, isn't it?
Just like we don't have the first letter razor either.
That's true as well. Of course. Yeah, I was thinking, who needs a first letter razor if you've got a letter remover? But if that first letter appears in the word elsewhere,
Exactly.
it's a very
Like the word
blunt
clock,
instrument.
for example.
Oh yeah, of course.
So we can't make a lock again.
We can't make a lock. We can't turn it back into a lock. No. So it's
And
one
don't
use.
remove the L.
Sorry.
Woody!
Sorry, I went to smut level 10 there. Sorry.
I mean, we could test it out. What do we think we're going to get? Is it a body part or is it a male chicken? Well, we have to try it out, don't we? I mean... I'm going to save. Have I got the clock? The clock flickers and there's a brief image of a cock in its place, but a legal override kicks in. Oh, okay. It's not that kind of legal override. An L remover is hardware crippled to prevent generating any living creature.
So
our eel?
rooster.
But our eel
It was dead. It was a dead
the
eel.
eel was dead,
No, but the eel.
It's 8 o'clock, guys.
It is. Oh, okay. That's interesting. I've just done a look. And it says a massively full pack leans against one of the beds.
Oh, because we scared the girl off.
We did. Okay, well, we can look at it next
Next
week.
Next week.
Yeah. Brilliant.
All right, everybody. We've made more progress, I guess. I mean, we earned some points. We have no idea how many points there are in total, actually. We have one goal left at the moment, which is to go and find whatever his name is. Slango. The counterfeit monkey. So we're working our way over there and figuring out what's going on. But next Monday... Well, next Monday isn't Christmas, actually, is it? Next Monday is just a normal day.
23rd.
It's just the 23rd.
Just the 23rd.
Might as well play then.
Shall we?
Yeah.
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 We might be busy.
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh well. We'll tell you what happened.
All the chickens might be home.
Don't all the chickens want to play as well?
I mean, it's potentially.
Yeah, we can ask them
Yeah.
and see.
If they'd
Yeah,
rather
let
do
us
that
know.
than eat.
Yeah.
All right. Let us know anyway if you can
Will
do it.
do.
Until then, cheers everyone.
Bye.
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 Bye.